Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are hacking into the machinery of your mind. We're going to show you how to tap into a source of motivation that is, well, it's pretty much infinite.
All right, let's just dive right in with a question, and I bet you felt this, even if you couldn't put your finger on it. You finally get that big win, right? You cross the finish line, and the next day, instead of feeling on top of the world, it's just kind of empty. There's a void. So what is going on here?
Well, that feeling is a huge part of something we'll call the motivation paradox. It's this really strange crash that happens right after the high of a victory, and you know what? It trips up even the most successful people out there.
Now, our first instinct is to think something's wrong with us. We interpret that post-win slump as, a personal failing. Maybe I didn't want it enough, or maybe it wasn't the right goal. But it's not a psychological flaw at all. It's a completely normal, totally predictable biological process. And to really get why this crash happens, we have to fix a massive myth about one of the most famous chemicals in our brain. It turns out most of us have had the story about dopamine completely wrong for a very, very long time.
This right here, this flips our entire understanding on its head. See, we think dopamine is the celebration, the feeling of pleasure when you get the reward, but it's not. Dopamine is the craving, the drive, the energy that makes you want to chase that reward in the first place.
So think of it like this. It's the molecule of wanting, not the molecule of having. It's that feeling of friction inside you, that agitated desire to get up and do something, to make progress. That feeling is dopamine at work.
Okay, so how does this actually work inside our bodies, to get us off the couch and moving? Let's take a look at the actual science that connects this motivation molecule directly to physical action. This is such a perfect illustration of how it works. Dopamine is released in anticipation of the reward, not when you get it. That surge of dopamine is literally what gives you the physical energy to close the gap from where you are to where you want to be.
And the connection is actually way more direct than you might think. Get this, dopamine is the chemical precursor to epinephrine, which you probably know by its street name, adrenaline. Yeah, they're basically chemical cousins.
And this creates this incredible, self-reinforcing loop inside you. The dopamine makes you crave the goal, and then it literally manufactures the adrenaline that fuels the work to get there. It's this beautiful biological system. You crave, you work. You crave, you work, over and over again.
So, and this is the crucial point, right? Since this is a biological system with a clear set of rules, you can learn how to work with it. You don't have to fight against it all the time. You can actually learn to operate your own machinery. This is where we all go wrong. We focus all our hope, all our emotional energy on that one single moment of victory. And by doing that, we're setting ourselves up for this gigantic dopamine peak, which is always inevitably followed by a deep, deep crash.
People who are sustainably successful learn how to manage this. They know the dip is coming, so they keep their internal celebration kind of in check, even if they're throwing a huge party on the outside, just to avoid that hard crash. They give their system a few days to reset because they know things are going to feel a little flat for a bit, and that's okay.
This is the single most important mindset shift you can possibly make. Instead of waiting for the finish line to feel good, you can actually learn to get those little dopamine hits from the process, from the striving, from the feeling that you are on the right path.
And here's the thing. There's no magic formula for this. It's an internal game. It's totally subjective. You have to figure out for yourself what kind of self-talk, what kind of internal rewards make you feel like you're moving forward. It's your system to control.
So instead of thinking, I'll finally be happy when this is done, you start thinking, man, I'm doing a good job because I showed up today. See? By rewarding the effort, you get the steady, consistent release of dopamine that fuels the whole journey. It prevents burnout, and it completely gets rid of the need for that one giant, unsustainable spike at the end.
When you do this, it leads to this profound reframing of what motivation even is. It's a change in mindset that can unlock a truly limitless drive to achieve just about anything.
We're all taught this model, right? Suffer through the hard work now to get the prize at the end. But as we've just seen, that model is biologically flawed. It leads to inconsistent motivation and eventually total burnout.
The real key, the secret to sustainable, lifelong motivation is learning to fall in love with the process of striving. It's about finding joy in the pursuit itself, in that feeling of making progress and moving toward a goal.
And that really is the ultimate takeaway here.
You are not just a passive victim of your own motivation. You are in control of the machinery that drives you. By learning to attach those rewards to the effort, the journey itself becomes the fuel, and your ability to pursue your goals becomes, for all intents and purposes, endless.
Look, this isn't just some interesting theory. It is a practical tool you can start using this very second. So think about it. What is one small act of effort, not outcome, that you can consciously acknowledge and feel good about today, right now, to start fueling your own momentum?